Hi, Nancy Burt-Preece here, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Here's all my contact information. Today is the last day of August. So if you haven't ordered or if you haven't used your coupons, use them today. Here's my Facebook business page. Please join. And my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, watch to the end. Today we are going to make a diamond fold card, and I cased some of the measurements from Rachel Tessman. I did change some things up. This is the one I made with her measurements. I'm going to go ahead. She had it cut a little bit shorter, and the white shows, which doesn't bother me, but I'm going to make it just a little bit different. So we'll see if we like them. This is using the Sophisticated Sled. It's an online exclusive. It's the Sophisticated Sled stamp set and dies. I just think this is a really pretty set. Now, when I was first stamping some of the things, I was having trouble getting good images. And then well, I'll hold it correctly. Then I got out our stamp mat. The photopolymers sometimes just need a little cushion. And if you have a stamp mat, make sure you're using it when you're stamping photopolymer. The other fun thing is I did cut out the blades are on silver foil. And when you open it up, it's just a cute little card. You can put Merry Christmas. You can do anything you want. But it's just a really fun card. So I'm using some of the Winter Meadow paper in the navy, and I'm going to do it in this shade of Pretty Peacock also. So let me just put our card parts to the side. I did some pre-stamping. So what we need is our card base, 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm going to show you in a minute how we're going to make that diamond. We also need 2 designer series paper, which are 3 by 4. Now the 4 is this way. So if you have a directional paper, make it's sure it's 3 and the direction is going the correct way. We also need a 2 by 4, also directional. We need a white, which is 2 1/2 inch square, and this is a 2 3/4 inch square of Lost Lagoon. That's where I kind of varied from her measurements. And this is a 2, where do I have it? It's a 3 1/4 by 4 inch white. So like I say, some of mine are just a smidge different than hers. That's totally fine. She did a lot of 1/8 measurements. If you know me, I don't like to use a lot of 1/8 measurements, especially when I'm doing a lot. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Trimmer, and I'm going to park the dark, score it at 5 1/2, and the next score measurement is 8 3/4. And she trimmed it here 1/8 of an inch. I am not trimming that off. I'm going to leave it. Now we need to make a diamond. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your card in at the 2 1/8 inch, and I'm just going to put a little mark. She went ahead and did a little cut. I'm doing a little mark because I really don't like a cut image on there. I can erase my little mark. Now I'm going to use the dark to cut that off. And then we're going to lay that on here. Kind of get it as square as we can. And go right up. I'm cutting right up to those score lines. So you've got a nice line there, and you can just erase that, and you're ready to go. So let's create the card. We're going to fold this down, and with a bone folder, you're going to want to really score that edge. And this one comes up. This is what makes our diamond fold, which is kind of fun, easy fold, but it looks nice. So the first thing I'm going to do is put one of my pieces of designer series paper on the front underneath this flap. Now, some people leave the flap open. I'm going to show you. I'm going to put a little dimensional. It adds a little dimension to it, and then it's not like all over the place. If you're using green glue, it allows a little wiggle room. As I've gotten older, I've really gotten so I like my green glue. I'm going to put a little dimensional right here. Just holds that flap down. For some reason, when it's, I don't know, I don't like it as flappy. That's just me. You could leave it flapping however you chose. There's nothing on the back of that diamond, so it's not like it's a super cool thing to look at. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the inside. I pre-stamped using Pretty Peacock. This is from the Sophisticated Sled. So I've had a lot of people like, it's hard to find things. And we are getting used to a new catalog, and I definitely tell you, I agree. It has been tricky for me too. But once I find it, if I write down the name and then I put that in the search engine, I find it's much easier to find it after that. That's just how I do it. You don't have to. Sometimes things are gone. As I've said for many years, if you love it, get it now, because it will be gone. Especially the holiday mini. You like it, you get it, because it goes pretty quick. So I still have, oh, I see. Well, see, we're going to have to look at these. So she had then take, oops, let me get my pencil. We'll talk about how she had it, and maybe I will go back to what she did. She'll probably be going, I told you. I loved stamping the skates and the Let It Snow. Those are not hard, but I at first had trouble getting a clean image. So then I stamped it on one of our Stampin' Pierce mats, and then it was great. The other thing, if you're having trouble, is make sure that you have good ink, because sometimes that is a problem too. So I actually am going to recommend, we'll talk about her measurement in a minute. I still like my measurements on not doing all the 1/8 of the inches, but I understand now, I have a better sense why she did, oops, an 1/8 of an inch. I don't want all that glue. I'll have to get that off after. I'm lining that up. Isn't that cute? So here's what my first one I made with her measurements. It just gives you a little bit less line here. So if you wanted 4.5, you can score it. Then cut 1/8. So let me get a piece of paper here. So what she did is she did the scoring, did the 5.5 and the 8 3/4, and then on that, well, let me do it. 5.5, here, let me do it. It's easier. 5.5, then 8 3/4. And then what she did is trimmed 1/8 of an inch off. Instead of the 1/4 inch. And I understand why she did that now, because I'll show you the difference. Now, they're not huge. This one just has more white. This one has less white show. I like the less white showing. So if you were going to do it, you'd probably use this measurement. Now, how are we going to put the blades on? I'm going to take a silicone mat. This is my sponge dauber I use for ink. If you don't have a dedicated sponge or sponge dauber or something, it's nice to have one to use with ink. If you get your little skates, you might have to poke the holes out. Some people ask me, do you like your Take-A-Pick tool? Well, if you watch my videos, I use it all the time. So I would recommend it because it is something I use a lot. Now I'm going to move these to the side. I got the little outsides. I'm going to put a little bit of glue And the beautiful thing is, when it's dried, some people think they have to wash it off. You don't. It will dry, and then I'll just pick it off. It just picks right off that silicone mat. So now I'm going to, I debated you can cut that off if you choose. I just let it go on top because I thought it was easier, and I didn't mind the look. So that's a personal preference. So this way you're getting glue on it, but it's not so much that it really spills over. The first time I did it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it. Well, if you look closely, there's a lot of glue on here that I'm picking off. So if I were you, I'd do it this way. If you come to my class, I'm going to have that out. So very cute, easy card. And yes, it's hard to believe that we are already starting our holiday cards. So I hope you have a great day. Take care.